Hey guys, Bethany and Leah here.
Hey everyone, how's it going?
All right, we are going to get right into it. We want to walk you through growing your community and looking and narrowing in on your influence. So let's get right into it. We have a few pain points that I think we have definitely experienced in the beginning of our businesses, and maybe something that you're experiencing as well. So listen in, take some notes, and let us know if you feel the same way. So, have you ever felt like whether you have an idea or you are starting your business, but you feel like you're lacking direction? You have too many ideas, but not a clear enough direction. You have a vision, but you are not able to implement a specific plan. You really know. You really know your product and know what you want to do, but you don't have a clear idea of how to really tell how well your business is doing. Like, you don't know what analytics to look at, what metrics to view, to really know what works for your business and what doesn't. Those are some things that I struggled with for sure. And so lacking direction can definitely be a pain point when starting out your business.
Yeah, and another big one is just spending hours on marketing strategy,
Mm.
feeling overwhelmed with all of the different tactics, feeling obsessed with having to learn so many new tools, and not really understanding the concept of done is better than perfect. Just feeling like everything has to be perfect, and if it's not going to get traction. Are you just not showing up for your audience because you're spending so much time just on all of these workflows and strategies that you aren't even showing up in person?
Here's a big one. Are you overwhelmed by social media? You never know what to post. You're always comparing yourself to others around you. Totally guilty. Totally have been there. Do you obsess with certain strategies that aren't necessarily making a huge impact for your business, but you're going down rabbit holes and to-do lists a mile long that aren't really doing anything for you or your idea or business in the long run?
Yeah, and what about fear? I feel like fear is a huge one.
Mm-hmm.
Fear of just not having what it takes, fear of being able to do the work, um, fear to make the investment in your business. Whether that investment is time or money. Um, are you just holding back? And does impatience stop you from letting a strategy work out? Do you just get too nervous before letting yourself just dive in all the way? Do you just pull back before you can see results?
And here's the last thing. Is it a passion project that you're working on or a business? And we want to be the first to tell you that either one is fine. But both of these ends of the spectrum require strategy. So understanding what it is for you, if it's a business, how do you make it profitable? It's it's unsustainable if it isn't profitable. And having that kind of lack of strategy or no clue if it's really a passion project or if it's something you really want to invest a lot of time in to make it a profitable business is definitely a common pain point. So what's your goal? Are you looking to make money? Are you looking to make it your full-time job? Are you looking to create such a income that you can give back to the community? Do you want to do it just for fun? Do you want to make $1,000 a month? I know some people do it just so that they can pay their horses board. So whatever it is for you, do you feel like you don't quite have that clear idea of where you're at with your idea or business?
Yeah, so we're here to tell you that the answer to all of this is actually pretty simple. Everything that you need to have an impactful and profitable business is inside of you. Um, so yeah, we're about to dive into a concept that I think will really help you to understand, you know, just that it is there, and it can be simple, and you can make impact while also simplifying your processes.
Yeah, so next we wanted to go through some specific action steps to create more of an impact for you.
Yeah, so just a little bit about who we are. So I'm Leah. I own Dapple Bay Co. I sell t-shirts and accessories, and really started the business because I wanted to have things that represented my equestrian side without making me look like a total nerdy horse girl. My day job is in marketing. My background is in design and website development. But yeah, my passion is really helping women especially clarify their brand story so that they can have impactful businesses.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I'm Bethany. I'm the founder of My Equestrian Style and the Equestrian Podcast. And I'm also a full-time private trainer. So with kind of combination of all those three elements, I have been fortunate enough to love every aspect of my job to the point where none of it feels like work. And it wasn't always like that. It definitely took a lot of steps to get to that point, but love being able to combine my love for horses and my love for teaching into various aspects of my job, whether that's at the horse shows or training at home or working on things like this with My Equestrian Style or doing an interview on the podcast. It's been such a fun journey. So I've loved having this platform to be able to share my love for horses and fashion and kind of everything in between.
So awesome. Yeah, and we have found just so much success in community. So helping each other with our businesses is really what inspired us to do this. We realized just how much strength there is in community and opportunity. And we've really together developed a strategy that we feel is powerful enough to help a lot more businesses. So that's why we're here. So
yep,
let's get into it.
There is power in community for sure. And that's kind of the moral of the story today. So yeah, let's get to it. Grab a pen and notebook if you haven't already. Otherwise, yeah, let's rock through this workbook and dive deep.
Yeah, so today, here's what we're going to cover. We're going to cover the top 3 mistakes that you might be making, the recipe for a magnetic brand, and making it happen. So we're ready to get strategic. You're going to learn today that it's just a simple mindset shift that will allow you to go from busyness to a profitable business. So let's get going.
All right.
So I'll start talking about this mistake, number 1, that I see all of the time. A lot of people think that their logo is their brand, and that you have to spend a lot of money on it before you even get started with your idea.
Totally.
But this is a huge trap, and quite honestly, you shouldn't be spending a bunch of money on things right away that aren't going to directly impact the revenue of your business. I mean, if you have money that you want to invest in a beautiful logo, go for it. I'm a designer, so I absolutely love that. But it might not be best for your business. Your brand is more than just the visual side. The visual aspect of your brand is really just one small piece of it, because a brand is an experience. So it's everything about your business that can be experienced. Of course, the visual is part of that, but your brand voice is part of that. Your products are part of that. The way that you communicate with your customers is part of that. So if you don't have a lot of money to invest in a logo and beautiful brand, don't worry about it, because that's a huge mistake.
For sure. The second mistake is you think you need a large following in order to have a profitable business. And this is something that I feel like a lot of people struggle with this concept, because it's totally not true. Social following is not an indicator of business success. There's so many brands out there and companies that have no social presence at all and are still finding a way to market their product and to be successful. So while I do think there are some benefits to have a social following, there is a big difference between a large social following and an engaged social following. And at this point in time, especially with how there are so many algorithm changes on social media, and it's constantly changing so that you can't really keep the same strategies at any given time, it is so important that your audience is seeing your content in a way that you are not having to like you're constantly going to have to talk to your audience and create that engaged following. And that is so different than any given person on Instagram or Facebook or whatever having hundreds of thousands of followers, but maybe 100 or 200 likes on a picture. So it's so different. A large social following doesn't mean all that much. And when you really, it might look flashy in the beginning, but when you kind of dive into anyone's content or engagement, that's what's more important. So that's definitely a top mistake that people kind of fall into that mentality.
Totally. And it's, easy to see big followings and, get overwhelmed by it, which kind of leads to my next point. The third mistake that we see is just that you're worried that the market is oversaturated and there's so many people doing the exact same thing that you want to do, that you feel overwhelmed, maybe that you're not good enough. And like this whole idea of community over competition that you hear, like it just doesn't resonate with you because you can't quite make sense of it. But I'm here to tell you that there is no other you. You have your own set of God-given talents and they are your own. No one else has the same set of abilities and skills that you have. So trust us when we tell you that if you are willing to bring the full you to what you're doing, you have the ability to create a brand and business that is unlike any other.
For sure. Yeah, so those are the 3 top mistakes that we really think are kind of pertinent to really look at and to be like, okay, kind of check in with yourself and see where you're at with these mistakes, because they are so common. You're not alone, but those feelings are out there for sure.
Yeah, so I can dive into the recipe. So this diagram is really, I know it's really simple, but this will guide your brand strategy that will attract your ideal clients and create that business for you that, doesn't feel like work. If you can nail this right here, this really is the secret. So on the left-hand side is you. These are all the things that you love, who you are, what you do, why you do it, what drives you. All of that is over on the you side. And then on the right side, that's your audience. So who is your audience? Where are they? What do they do? What drives them? What do they identify with? And your ideal brand positioning should lie in that space of the overlap. That's what we're going to be talking about today. So first, we've got to uncover you. Bethany, you want to tell them? Oh, wait, I'm telling them about this. Sorry.
Sure. Yeah.
Got my script wrong. Okay, so the first half of the equation is you and your why. And so I talked a little bit about how it's easy to get trapped in like what you looks like in terms of your visual identity. But that's really just a very surface level thing. I want to ask you to dive deeper and start to get into those ideas or concepts that are more it's the deeper emotional part of us that is going to connect with our audience. So instead of saying that your why is to make a certain amount of money, I want you to ask yourself, what is deeper than that? Because maybe you're like me, maybe your why is to create community, to feel a sense of friendship with like-minded individuals. That's always been what's been behind Dapple Bay. I started the company when I was living in a new place, and I literally didn't have any friends. So for me, starting Dapple Bay was really searching for my tribe, these like barn girls that would be my best friends. And it was cool because Dapple Bay did end up becoming a catalyst for that for me. But, that's where I would encourage you guys to go. Start jotting down in your workbook, what you do, like what are the things that you do. And then for each thing that you do, that should prompt you to come up with some ideas about why. It might seem a little messy at first as you're writing stuff down, but just trust me, allow yourself to spend some time here. I promise that you will start to see some themes coming through, and these passions will lead you to, a more clear why. And that why is what will drive your brand story. The next half of is your tribe.
Yeah, so knowing your tribe, we like to call your tribe another word for community or audience, or the people who are taking a look at your content or your brand and responding to it. So that is the second half of the equation. And just like take a second and ask yourself, who are your people? Where do they live? Are they a certain personality type, a certain age? What are their passions? What do all of you guys have in common? Start asking yourself those questions so that you can start kind of narrowing in on an ideal customer avatar. You might have a few different avatars depending on the services or the products you provide, or like me, I'm very like multi-passionate. I like to call myself. I have lots of different areas of things that within my equestrian style and the podcast that I'm interested in. And so I have different avatars. But you only need one to do this exercise that's in the workbook, and you can always duplicate this page and do different tribe avatars. So the next thing is to start thinking about their pain points. Kind of like how we opened today's webinar with our pain points. What are their needs for your audience or your avatar? What matters to them? What might be missing from their lives or from their experience? What are they longing for? So these are questions to another kind of place to sit, spend time, marinate on this a little bit, because this is very crucial to the equation, knowing those needs and desires and identities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so next is discovering this overlap between where all of your passions intersect with the needs and desires of your audience. This overlap will be the focal point of your successful brand strategy. In this overlap are all of the different products and services you can offer. It's going to guide you as to your price point, and it's going to guide you to make decisions about how and when you market. Ideally, this overlap drives everything that you do with your business. So really doing the work of understanding yourself and what drives you, as well as doing the work to uncover that for your audience, is going to just really create a powerful strategy. So yeah, that I can't emphasize this enough, but the more specific you can get, the more niche down this overlap is, the stronger strategy you can create. So take this time. I know that hopefully you've got your workbooks printed out, but we've got some space on each page for you guys to start responding to these prompts. But think about the gifts that you have that your audience needs. So I think here the idea of serving is huge. So instead of thinking about, what can I sell my audience, if you just do a millimeter shift and you change that to how can I serve, what do I have that they need, that's going to get you to a deeper level of thought that is going to create more impactful offerings and services that will really resonate and become magnetic for your tribe.
Another thing to consider is if you start getting in the mentality that what can I sell to these people instead of what can I offer them or what can I serve them, you also will find that the idea of getting like burned out from doing something will come so much faster if you're just looking to sell a product. But if you're really trying to provide a service and it's something that you're naturally good at and naturally passionate about, it'll come so much more effortlessly and so much more joyfully. And the mentality, it won't be so salesy and gimmicky and kind of gross. Just like Leah and I, like we're talking to you about this today, like we're so passionate about narrowing in on your focus and creating community. That this is something that excites us and something that we have found in each other that we want to offer to anyone that wants to listen.
Totally. So next we're going to get into how to make it happen. So once you've spent some time uncovering what that overlap is for you and what that means for your business in terms of your story and what you're offering, it's time to make it happen. So we can get super clear about how to market your business now that you've got that strategy and positioning. So choosing your medium is really the first place to start because your people are not everywhere. I promise you, like your people are not all over the internet. They typically are in a few places. So your customer avatar is going to help you understand where you need to show up in your marketing. So nail your customer avatar down and create what I like to call a customer journey. So where are they? You know, are they at a horse show? Are they on their phone? What websites are they going to? Are they on social media? Start to craft what their experience might be and where your brand can start showing up. So that would be, you know, the way to choose the medium. And yeah, that's the next thing is just to really emphasize that, I mean, I'm a one-woman band here. Bethany has interns, but don't spread yourself too thin. I would say that if you can do one place really well, that's better than trying to do 5 just a little bit.
Totally.
So I know that, you know, one of the biggest mistakes that we went over was just that feeling of overwhelm with marketing strategy and tactics. Right here is the reason why it doesn't matter. Your customer is not everywhere. So there's no need to feel overwhelmed about LinkedIn if your customer isn't on LinkedIn.
I love that. I love when you were like, what was it? Like you have a marketing client who has like a roofing company, or like you do not need to go on Pinterest, or like you sell earrings, you do not need to be on LinkedIn. Like just, yeah.
Oh, trust me. I mean, the overwhelm is really real. And actually one of the stories was about Yelp. I had a customer talk to me for about 2 hours about Yelp, and he was so concerned, and he was putting all of his energy into worrying about Yelp. And it's like, okay, I know that you have bad reviews on Yelp, but Yelp is a pay-to-play platform. It is becoming irrelevant. We can get real reviews on Facebook and Google that will actually be picked up by search. But he was so worried about Yelp that, you know, really there's nothing that I can do for you if your mindset is trapping you. So like the little nugget there is energy goes where focus flows is a fun and very true thing. So if you allow yourself to feel the overwhelm and allow it to drive you, it's going to show up in your business. It's going to show up in your life. So choosing your medium, focusing where your people are, just putting your focus there is going to allow energy and attraction to flow.
That's such a good point.
Yeah, so next, Bethany, you should talk about
Telling a
stories.
story.
You're good at
I
this.
love to tell a
Yeah,
story,
you're
and
so
you
good at
always see me on my Instagram stories. And I never like to watch them again because usually I'm embarrassed of the things that I do. But you know what? It is strategic in a way because it is so important to tell a story, to tie everything back to your why, so that your audience really knows you and your why and what to expect from you. So to take your audience or your tribe with you behind the scenes. I always like to take my followers to the barn with me, and I talk about my rides, and I talk about what I'm teaching the girls in the lessons, and I take them with travels for horse shows, and showing my real face sometimes, like, just the real raw me. And my Instagram feed tends to be a little bit more on the polished side because I create content for brands and things like that, and people love beautiful images of horses and all that stuff. But my Instagram stories, I really set aside to tell that story. And I think telling a story is so important because it builds trust for your audience so that you can really offer them valuable information and services and make those real friendships and community. So telling a story is essential.
Totally. Totally. And then this one is huge for me. Being patient is super hard because, yes, I like tell all my marketing clients what to do all the time, and I make strategies that I make them stick to. But for me in my own business, this is really a challenge because I am an ideas person and I just get really excited about things. And I tend to just like start doing instead of like allowing. So there's definitely a happy medium between like set it and forget it. That would be like if you set up an ad and then you like never looked at it again. Don't do that. But like
somewhere in the middle there.
Somewhere in the middle of set it and forget it and like worrying that everything needs to be perfect and you need to be doing all of it. There's definitely a middle ground. So creating a strategy and then sticking to it and then measuring the results. The results are the most important thing that is going to guide your business. So you have to have the courage to commit to the medium, commit to the spend. If you're spending money on advertising or a new website or whatever you're doing that costs money, that's the fear thing we talked about. Overcome the fear, stick to the strategy, and then measure the results. And you might find out that something didn't work. And you know what? That's awesome because then you learned and then you can apply that information for the next strategy. So there is no magic strategy. There is no manifest money for your business and it just appears. Like that's not real. There's no just hustle harder doing everything and that will mean money. That's not true either. It's just really create the strategy, allow it to happen, and then measure the results and adjust from there.
Yeah, that's such a good point.
Yeah, like I just, know that a lot of business owners get so freaked out about spending money to make money. Like that concept is really hard, but you have to in order to be able to make educated decisions about your business.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It took me a minute to do that for sure. But once you do, it's just like any big goal you have, whether it is to lose 10 pounds after the holidays or run a half marathon or, learn to do something with your horse or something like that. Any type of goal. I mean, if you don't have to buy a huge plan or do certain things that cost a ton of money, but you still need to invest and you still need to put in the time and the strategic plan. And then you just need to like grind it out. And that's something that I think people either get overwhelmed and don't continue to look at the plan, or they overanalyze it, or what Leah and I have talked about in our businesses is we see something going on and maybe it doesn't perform as great as we would like to in the beginning, and then get nervous and like, oh my gosh, I'm just going to delete it. Or, you get in those mentalities of like, I don't think this is going to work, but you don't see the whole project through. So being patient, oof, it's a struggle for sure. The last thing is what we love, seeking community, because it's something that and we've told you guys this before, but Leah and I working together this past year has been huge for both of our businesses. And this has just been like one-on-one time. We'll do like weekly calls when we, as much as we can, and really continue to keep each other accountable and help each other out, because Leah and I bring different things to the table for our businesses. And even though we have some similarities and we are both ideas people and think very similarly, we have that in common, but we definitely, like, Leah kills it at marketing strategy and website design, and she says she is an ideas person, but she also is like so good at just knocking stuff out. And I love bringing in like branding and authenticity and kind of these like big ideas and start implementing them. So we were able to come together as a little mini community and do some amazing things for both My Equestrian Style and Apple Bay Co. And so it's so like teamwork makes the dream work, and we have something that we have found that finding community to work with you and to help you is going to be essential to making it happen in your business.
Totally. I am, self-professed ideas person, but I am way better behind the scenes. So like most of my effort goes into other people's businesses that I power, with strategy and execution. So Dabble Bay has always suffered because it's been like the, cobbler son's shoes thing. I don't know what that exact saying is, but it's been my playground for like, oh, I want to design a shirt for myself. So then I like make all these new shirts. But yeah, Bethany has really helped me just kind of clear up what it could be, and yeah, do that clarification and really like brand positioning that I tell people to do all the time.
See, it was always within you. You needed that community to like pull it out of you.
Exactly. Well, there's that other saying, you teach what you need to learn. And like, I'm totally doing that, you guys. So it's a big step for both of us to be in this role. I think we'd had this idea to do a workshop, and we're making it happen because we know you guys need it. So this community that we're talking about, like, we're creating it for you. So that's why we launched the workshop. Applications are open. So yeah.
Applications are rolling in. It's so exciting.
Yeah, so we actually have a lot of applications already. So if you want to do this, you need to get on it stat. Mm-hmm. But it's going to be...
Should I give a little rundown of what the workshop is?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the workshop is our little brainchild that Leah and I put together to develop community. And it's something that's already in a lot of the mainstream industries. And it is a place where a group of women or a group of like-minded business women get together for like a weekend retreat. We've rented a really cute Airbnb in Hollywood, Florida, which is just south of Fort Lauderdale. So we are going to be close to Wellington, and it'll be nice weather. It's going to be during week 7 of WEF, February 1st through the 23rd, so Friday through Sunday. And it's just going to be a time of community and branding and narrowing in on whether you have just an idea or thinking about diving into the equestrian space, or you're already working full time, but you're wanting to really focus in, maybe make a little increase in what you're getting for your revenue, and really just help each other, because again, we found so much increase and improvement on our brand and our identity and our brand as a whole by working together. So this is something that we wanted to do for you. It's going to be intense. You're going to be learning a lot. We're going to do a lot of big group training and then breakout session training. Leah, if you want to get into kind of like what we'll be learning, that's kind of a good indicator.
Yeah, so it's all about just empowering you with the knowledge you need to move your business forward. So we'll have group sessions where we're covering topics like the psychology of branding, influencing, marketing, doing a social media makeover, websites 101. So kind of depends on where you're at, how that we're going to design this exact one. But that's why we're doing an application process, is we really want to see where everyone is at so that we can create a custom curriculum. But yeah, it could be everything from recommending how to build a site to a full site audit and, all of the changes that we recommend to align with your brand strategy, creating valuable content, email marketing, photography for your brand, and community over competition. So these are just this is what we have planned so far. But yeah, like I said, we'll be developing a custom curriculum based on all of the people that we choose to apply.
Yep.
So,
and then, so that's kind of like the big picture stuff. Besides the specific things for your business, we're also going to be doing breakout sessions to really create individual brand strategy maps for each of you. So we're going to get really focused on each individual person's idea or business so that you really have something to like take home and implement strategy instead of this like general fluff of like, yeah, this was like a great weekend, but like it was very general. No, it's going to be super specific to you, and it'll be such a good opportunity to meet women and collaborate, resource one another, because everyone's within the industry and it's so rare because there's not really anything else like this. You can kind of get tips and tricks and community through non-equestrian industry, but it's, oh my gosh, it's going to be next level for you to be able to resource one another within this niche, to learn and grow from collective businesses, learn from mistakes, learn from things that went well for people. And you can expect to leave the workshop with amazing friendships like Leah and I have found in each other, like-minded women who are rooting for you and holding you accountable. We'll be offering a Facebook page that will be private and available to you to have that equestrian entrepreneur community, to continue to ask questions and give advice and ask for advice. You'll have a clear strategy of how to move forward with your business or idea. You will have tactical knowledge that you can apply immediately to your brand or your idea. And you'll get content, because content is important. And this is something that is such a good value for the overall investment of the workshop. Everyone will be getting new headshots and images for your brand. You'll be getting tips about how to create certain content, but you'll be coming home with physical images of you and of different ideas and group shots and things with your products, or just like a whole range of content to be able to take home to start implementing on your platforms. You'll also get a new sense of excitement, a renewal, community confidence. That's something like only like this in the small group setting that we'll be able to provide.
Yeah. So we promise, you're going to get so much out of it. Because we've gotten so much out of our time together, which was also a weekend where we just powered through a whole bunch of stuff. So yeah, we just want to extend that that sense of community and impact to a bigger group of women. So yeah, I'm really excited for for how that's going to look. We already have several spots have already been filled because we did our Instagram live yesterday. Re-recording this morning due to some Instagram not awesomeness. Yeah, so the investment for this is $795. Doesn't include travel. That's so Bethany, what exactly does it cover? The $795?
Yeah. So $795. You are responsible to get yourself to and from the workshop, the Airbnb in Hollywood, Florida. But you will be, the $795 will include all your meals, drinks, lodging, of course, as well as the content, obviously, from the workshop, the photography, the headshots. And so that, I mean, on like being a photographer, I feel like that price point just about covers the photography in and of itself. If you've ever been in like where you have to hire models or a photographer or do a styled shoot for your brand, that's essentially like very close to what that would cost. So we're doing that. We're including that as well as all the workshop content. We're literally like analyzing your website and your social media and giving you strategic tips and advice for tweaks or overhauls to do to have that clear focus and to move your brand or your idea in the right direction. So honestly, we did that since this is the first one we're doing. We decided on that price point, and I think it's everyone that we've talked to said it's like, oh my gosh, you're getting so much for that price. So we're so excited. Applications are really filling up, and we are only, because of the size of the house and we want that small group feel, we're only accepting 12 ladies for this workshop. So we have some spots available currently. So if you are considering this at all, I would highly suggest you really kind of dig deep, decide if this is something you want to invest in. I truly think this is the best investment you can do for yourself for 2020, for your idea or for your business, and apply. The application form isn't interest form, it's more of an intent form. So what will happen is if when we receive your application, that's your intent to come, we'll review it, and if we accept you into the workshop, you have like about 24 hours to send in your deposit. Then once we go from there, we'll get some more information and start creating a curriculum for you guys for the workshop.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. We already have some people that are so cool signed up. So
I know, I can't wait. The group's going to be so fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a great variety because we already have some influencers signed up. We have some really cool business owners signed up. Very like different businesses too. So it's going to be,
which is perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of what we hoped, was to get like a wide range of types of women in this group, just because I feel like the more varied our backgrounds, the more that we can learn from one another. But yeah, hurry up, because we've had a huge response to this webinar. Yeah, I feel like we'll be full like by the time that we post this, and
for sure. Yeah. No, but like if you seriously though, if you are, whether you're a trainer or a catch rider or a farrier, or you are a photographer or an influencer, or you want to be any of those things, you have maybe a product in mind that you want to sell, there are so many areas in the industry, and all of this content could be helpful for you. It will be helpful for you. So we really ask that you consider it. It's going to be so much fun. You'll be hanging out with us all weekend, and we really hope that you look into it and apply. You can get all the information on myequestrianstyle.com/workshop, and that is also where you can apply. So check out our website, make sure all your ducks are in a row, and go apply for the thing.
Yeah, and thank you guys for showing up. That's so cool. We are so excited because this was an idea, and seeing the response really was cool. I've had a thought that there was something in this overlap, but I think this is just such a cool example of what I'm talking about, between Bethany and I on the left side, you guys on the right side, and this overlap in the middle of something that we love to give and that you guys need, which is knowledge and community. So yeah, that's what we're offering. Hope you'll join us.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll hope to talk to you soon, and hope to see you soon in February.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Later.